here to say a few words to you as well. Judge Edwards.
Thank you. Good afternoon. And it's just so wonderful. I want to thank Local 420. 420 is a wonderful partner to the court as well as a great leader for teachers and for others in our city. And Mary Armstrong has done a terrific job, and I want to congratulate Mary, Shirley, and all of the other folk that are responsible for having you here today. As I look out into the eyes of all of you, I can see that the parents are so proud and they're smiling. This is indeed a great day of celebration for all of your children. And I just want to acknowledge one parent here and a child that we all care about our children, no matter who they are and where they might be. And I just want to acknowledge Mrs. Henderson. Darian Henderson is one of the children that is involved with my school, and he isn't here. But I want to acknowledge his mom because I've watched her, and I know how much she cares about her son. And I know how hard she's worked to raise her son. So I'm just going to acknowledge you and ask you to stand up. I want to acknowledge the teacher that recommended Darian. Everywhere I go, I often talk to people about their legacy, and Mary heard me say this last night. When we start talking about legacy has really nothing to do with money. It doesn't matter how much money you make. The only person that cares about how much money you make when you're dead are the people that's going to get it. Legacy has nothing to do with all of the degrees that we have collectively in this room. It doesn't matter. Legacy has nothing to do with what's written on our headstones when we're dead. Legacy has everything to do with what is woven in others. What we do for children, how we raise our children. What we do for others is certainly the most important thing that we can ever do. Because as we continue to age, we always remember what that teacher did, what that neighbor did, what somebody did for us when we were growing up. And so the most important people, in my mind, are the teachers. They have our children most of their young lives. They spend more quality time with our teacher than most parents. And so we don't always acknowledge them, and we don't always let them know how important that they are to us. And certainly I know that they work very hard and under very difficult situations. So I just want to take a moment and impose upon the parents and the children that are here to make sure that they acknowledge the teachers. So with the teachers that are in the room here, would you be kind enough to stand up as well? Would you do that for me? And I never leave because people always ask me. They ask me, well, how do I know I'm doing the right job? I have 1,000 children that I'm responsible for in the city of St. Louis that are in the foster care system. I'm their guardian. So all night long, doctors are calling me in the middle of the night, and folk are calling me and telling me that my children have been hurt, or some mom has delivered a baby that was crack addicted or addicted to drugs. And they call me even before they call parents most of the time. And so when a child has been hurt in our city, they'll call me and ask me if the child can die. And I make a decision. The child is shaken. And they'll say, Judge, can we let the baby die? Or Judge, this 14-year-old was shot in the head. Can we let this child die? And then they call the parent. And then they tell the parent that their child is dead. I make those decisions every single night. And then I have the children that get themselves in trouble. And so as a result of all of that, and for 18 or 19 years of hearing that and seeing that, I decided that I needed to go to the juvenile court. And I decided that I needed to open up a school because I needed to find a way to try to redirect our children so that they don't end up in the system. Only two things can happen. Our kids, by law, return to our communities. They return to our communities at 18 years old, no matter what we adults think, because that's what the law says. And so the only question that I've always had in my mind is, how do we want them back? Do we want them back educated with the ability to conform and to be good citizens? Or do we want them back with a more sophisticated criminal mind and a menace to our communities? And I think that we want them back doing the former. We want them back to be good children. All children are good children. Sometimes we make bad choices, but we all have. And just because we've turned 50 doesn't mean that we're more marked than that 15-year-old or that 16-year-old. And we always have to keep that in mind. So when your children are here, and you have them in your laps and you have them next to you, just make sure that you always try to respect them. Make sure that you always raise them. Make sure that you always give them something that they can remember, something that's positive and something that's good. And what 420 is doing today is good, because they'll remember this. This is a footprint that they'll remember. They got an award. They got an award for being good kids. They got an award for being bright and smart and intelligent. And you parents, keep doing what you're doing. I measure you only by what you do when nobody's looking. That's how I measure you. I measure you no other way. I measure you by, what do you do when nobody's looking? Do you protect your babies? Do you teach your babies? And so it's certainly my pleasure to be here with my partner, Mary Armstrong, in this venture to save our children and to educate our children. And we need you to keep showing up. We need the parents to keep working hard. We need the teachers to stay committed, because without you, without the teachers, we can't survive. We would be a wreck. They would be chaos. Thank you so much for letting me come here. Unfortunately, they bounce me from program to program, and I'll be speaking at about 7 o'clock somewhere else. But I just wanted to come and say good evening. Enjoy the evening. Children, congratulations. Let me applaud you, parents. So I always talk to the kids, because one day I might have to come to you and get a job. And I hope you guys remember me. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.